the schools that very first year, sometimes you may not get anything. But schools really like to see that you're going to be committed to graduating from that school. And so once you get started, you want to continue to apply. And I always like to share this story that my son ended up at University of Houston. And so he went to University of Houston, and the first year, I think he got a small scholarship when he came there. Didn't get hardly anything that second year, but then that third year and the fourth year, he ended up getting like a $10,000 scholarship. Both of those 2 years, and it was a scholarship for students that was working part time and in the engineering program, and so he ended up getting that the last 2 years. And so I always remember he sent me an email saying, "Hey, mom, I got this scholarship," and I was like just really excited about it. And he goes, "I'm not sure why you were so excited about it. It says it's $1,000," and I was like, "No, baby, you need to look at that decimal point. It says $10,000." And so, so we were just really excited about that. And another thing that I learned going there too is most of the schools have like a program basically where you can split the tuition across 4 or 5 payments. And so with both of my kids, I ended up using that so that they didn't have to take out so much when it came to loans. So what we did was we had them to get, just whatever the need-based amounts were. And then after that, we just took the difference and just kind of split it up over, 4 or 5 payments. And so that's something that parents can do as well. Like if you can, is just kind of budget that into that next year or the next 3 years or 4 years or whatever it takes. And so that's one of the things I always like to share, and make sure that you're always have parents looking for that. That payment plan is basically what it calls, and most schools will have some kind of payment plan. When it comes to scholarships, always complete that FAFSA form as well. A lot of times students feel like, well, I'm not going to get any grant funds, so I'm not going to complete it. Some of the scholarships that are out there are need-based, and they want to have that form completed to be able to determine, kind of what your need is based on that FAFSA form. So if you're looking at a need-based scholarship, it's for sure going to be one that they're going to need that FAFSA. So I always tell students to complete that regardless of whether or not you think you're going to get any grant funds. And the second reason is because things change. During the time my daughter was in school, my husband got laid off from work, and so we already had that done. That was already there, but things change over time, and so you want to have that out there and available should it become a time where you need it. Um, where do I look for scholarships? Okay. Again, I said always be looking for them, but take a look at your high school counselor's office. That's kind of where you want to start it right now. You want to look at just community and different religious organizations. And so that's a place where you want to look, different businesses. I also tell students look at if you're working or your parents are working somewhere, check with the employers. A lot of times they might offer scholarships to either my employees or my employees' kids. And so always have them check there. And then the higher education agencies, usually of your state. And so Texas Higher Education Agency, that's another place that you'll want to look. But just kind of always be on the lookout for scholarships. And then just be prepared when you are filling out the scholarships. People really like to see a story. And so always be willing to kind of share yourself, because when you're reading the application, there are lots of applications in front of you. It's a piece of paper. So when you're doing your letter, make sure that you're filling it out so that the person that's reading it can really get a feel for who you are. And so those are just kind of some several tips that I had. Make sure I got everything here that I meant. So always be applying. Make sure that you're completing that FAFSA form throughout your career. And then, like I said, possibility of a 2-year school, then transferring to a 4-year as an option. And then that payment plan that I mentioned. So those are all things that I would recommend as you get started out. Any questions for me?
I do. This is Miss Wilson. Is
Uh-huh.
it, would you consider any time too early? You know, I know you were emphasizing seniors, but what if you started doing research, say, the sophomore or junior year?
Yeah, so for sure, you could look up, start that junior year looking because the FAFSA forms become available like the October of that previous year that you're going to be going to college. And so that October timeframe is always a good time to start that of your junior year. So you could do that. And so just always just kind of start a little bit early. As far as when the scholarship applications are due, the majority of those kind of run. I mean, you can find them anytime, but you really want to be focused on that late winter into early spring, late spring. So somewhere from about December to April, that's where a lot of the scholarships, the due dates are going to fall in that window. Let's see. Okay.
Also, when you mentioned when your application or if you have to write an essay or whatever to present
Yes.
yourself, I would think that there are things you should maybe be doing prior to, say, your senior year, if it's um, to enhance your application as far as volunteerism,
Right.
et cetera.
Yeah.
So that is something that
All,
will
all
add something
those
to your application.
Yeah, all of those things are great, and I always recommend too kind of keeping a list during your high school, career because a lot of times we forget stuff that we've done. So just like, I may have a resume for my job when I'm looking for a job, I always recommend students kind of keep a running list of things that they're participating in. So, if I'm doing some volunteer work, or if I'm in this organization, or if I'm on the board of an organization, kind of keep a running list of those things that you're doing, so that when it is time to do, so whether or not you're doing it for that purpose, for your essay, or for your essay for an admissions application, you kind of have those things that are there in front of you. And so, also, a letter of recommendation, kind of already have in mind who's the teacher that I'm going to ask for a letter of recommendation, and then give them enough time to be able to get that done. When you do ask for a letter of recommendation, kind of give the person a few highlights about you, because they may know you in one capacity and have seen you in that capacity, but they may not know some other things that you've done. So even when you're asking someone to provide a letter of recommendation for you, have them to give, or give them a few highlights about yourself that they can also use or include in that as well. And then make sure that you have a transcript, that you have, because you're gonna always need that latest transcript. Um, and then once you do have the essay written, I do like to always have a couple of people to look over that for you, read over it with you, to see if there's any typos that need to be corrected, and just kind of be organized, as you're thinking about, these scholarships are coming up due. Kind of have your list of what's due, when I'm going to start applying, and then just make sure that you're taking time with it, not rushing to get it completed and turned in.
Good deal. Good information. Thank you so much, Ms. Bisco. And we have a time set aside for more questions, Q&A. I want to go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Shamika, uh, and so you can discuss your opportunities with us.
Yes, I want to say, um, Miss Donna, I used to work for Trio, Boys and Girls Club
Uh-huh.
and Westland, so I'm very familiar with Trio, and so everything that Miss Donna was saying is correct and on point. And when you do go to college, try to find you a Trio student support
Hmm.
services program. They help out with all the services that Miss Donna just listed. I'm trying to be brief. because I know we have other things to talk about. And so my part of this session is gonna focus on scholarships as well, but also the NAACP scholarships, because if you are a member of ACTSO, you are now a member of the NAACP, which means you are eligible for the scholarship that our national scholarships and our branch scholarship, depending on, you know, your location. And so just a little bit about me. My name is Shamika Stevenson Davidson. I've been doing college prep for almost 15 years now. I run my own consulting coaching company called Pre-College Solutions. I helped author a book a couple of years ago called You Can Go to College for Free. I am the interim educational chair for our branch, NAACP Fort Worth Tarrant County branch, and also the scholarship chair. And I'm also the second VP for our branch as well. And so anytime I like to talk to kids, parents, families about scholarships and things like that, I like to do a quick little activity. Only takes about a minute, minute and a half. And it's called the cost of senior year. And I'm doing an abbreviated version. And so all my people that's on here, you're gonna have to get live in the chat. Okay. So I'm going to put an item up, a picture of an item. I need you to tell me how much you think a family pays for this for their senior during senior year. Okay. And just, you know, the average family pays for this their senior year. And so, graduation, how much do you think, put in the chat, how much do you think a family typically pays for when it's graduation time for their child? Now, remember, this includes the outfit that goes under the cap and gown. The
You
cap and
talking about
gown,
high
if you
school
decide
graduation? You talking about high school
high
graduation?
school, high school graduation. Uh, the cap and gown, if you decorate the cap, your hair, nails, boys, haircuts, uh, if um if family decides to go out to eat after, if there is a small celebration, things like that. So 30 seconds. How much do you think an average family spends on high school graduation? And so I'm looking in the chat. Okay, 1,000. Okay, 500. Okay, some of y'all rich. $3,000. You must be a trip along with this graduation. Up to 2,500, 800. Okay. All right. These are some good guesses. Good guesses. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, the key word is average. Now, the average family, like you got some families, you know, they can do that. They are that family. They can do that. You got some families, you know, they can only do the bare minimum. And so, sorry about that. So the average family spends about $400 to $500 on their child's graduation. Now that doesn't include the gift. Gift is a whole separate thing. Some people give cars, trips. So gifts are not included in this. So some of y'all had some good guesses. Boy, y'all plan on really celebrating. Uh all right, so the next item is how much do you think an average family spends on prom? Prom.
Oh,
That's
okay. Well, that's the
yeah.
3,000.
I'm gonna in the chat put how much you feel like an average family spends on prom for their child. And y'all already know how it goes with prom. Prom these days, a photographer gets hired at
Okay.
some household. So so you know it can get up there. It can get up there. So 15 more seconds. Put your guesses in the chat. 15 more guesses. Let's see. Okay. Okay. $2,000, 1,200. Okay. All right. Anybody else want to guess? How much how much do you plan on asking your parents to spend on prom for you? That's probably what I should have said. Put that in the chat.
Yeah,
All right.
that's the question.
That's the question.
Yeah.
All right. 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So the average family spends about $1,000 to $2,000 on prom. And like I said, it depends on the family. Some families can go up there, and in some families, they may not have that capability. Now, I say all that to say, the average family spends about $5,000 on their child's senior year. With the prom, with the graduation, with all the senior dues, with all the senior celebrations, trips, shirts, just things like that. This is how much the average family spends on a child's senior year. So if a family is spending this much on their child's senior year, then how much do you think they have to help transition to college? They're already spending $5,000, and now it's like college time, and now they have to spend some more money for tuition and things like that. And so this is why I always tell students, I feel like it's your job to be applying for scholarships. This is how you help your family out by applying for scholarships, kind of alleviating some of the cost when it comes to that. Because believe it or not, your families, if they can, they're going to help you out with college. But let's not put all the financial burden on them. If you can be applying for scholarships junior year, senior year, then kind of contribute in that way. And so, with that, I want to talk about an opportunity for you guys to be applying for the NAACP scholarships. So, we have about three different types of scholarships within the NAACP scholarships that you can be applying for. The first one is our national scholarships. If you are a high school student, a college student, a member of the NAACP, there are scholarships given out on a national level. You just have to go to the national website and apply. Now, if you are a senior right now, the deadline is April the 11th. You must have a 3.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale. But right now is your opportunity to go ahead and apply. Now, I looked it up, and I think there's over 10 opportunities. And so, but you have to look and see. Some of them say they prefer that you be majoring in the film industry. Some says engineering. So you need to do your due diligence and go and look at all the different types. And then the second one is the ACTSO scholarship. So ACTSO has its own scholarships. I'm sorry, it's mainly for young African American women. Sorry, it's called Write Your Future Scholarship. And our branch has been fortunate enough to have had recipients of this scholarships through ACTSO. And so it's a $10,000 scholarship. You have to be a Black female and a high school senior. Right now, the scholarship is not open, but if they go according to last year's deadline, then it'll open May 1st, and then it'll end sometime in June. And I think the recipients are announced at the National ACTSO competition. And so just make sure you put that on your radar that if you are a high school senior, Black female on the call, that you should apply for this scholarship as well. And then we have our branch scholarship, which I'll go in more detail with in the next slide. But we have the NAACP Fort Worth Tarrant County chapter. We give out three $2,000 scholarships, and our scholarships are for high school seniors in our service area, or they are a member of the branch via ACTSO. So anybody who's a high school senior participating in our ACTSO program is eligible to apply for this scholarship. And as someone who's a scholarship chair, I don't be seeing y'all apply. I would love to see some of y'all apply. I may see one or two names, if that, but we would love to see you guys apply. Like, you are part of our branch. We want to help you, but please apply. And that's just my plea on behalf of the education committee. And then some other places, as Miss Donna stated, that you can go look for scholarships. I believe local scholarships are, you're able to probably win more on a local level than a national level. just because the competition is very fierce, very competitive, and these are some places you can look for to get more scholarship opportunities. Churches, the Divine Nine, which are the Black Greek fraternities and sororities. Each of those organizations usually have some type of scholarship. You can look for a college alumni association. So if you're interested in going to Howard, you're interested in going to Prairie View, you're interested in going to Texas Tech. Most of those organizations have an alumni association. And those alumni associations are connected to where they stay. So there's a Dallas Fort Worth chapter, or either just a Dallas or Fort Worth chapter of Prairie View A&M alumni, and they give out scholarships. And so if you're going to that school, that's a perfect opportunity for you to apply for their scholarship. They want to bless the people that's in the community around them. So look into those. And then there's also professional organizations. We're fortunate enough to be in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex where there are lots of corporations. There's Microsoft, there's BNSF, the railroad. There's all these organizations, and most of them give out scholarships as well, especially locally. So look into those as well. All right, so now the branch scholarship. We will be opening our application. So you guys are kind of getting like a sneak peek. Uh Starting March the 19th. And the deadline to turn it in is April the 22nd. Like I said, we giving out 3 scholarships, and they're $2,000 each. And so what is unique about our branch scholarship that I really love is that it is essay based, which means we don't really look at your academics. We don't really look at all the extracurricular and things like that you've been involved with. We give an essay prompt. We want you to write about that essay prompt. You have to let us know that you do plan on going to college. We're not just gonna give you $2,000. So you have to be going to either a 2-year or 4-year college or university, and that's how we base our selection based off of the essay, and how well you've written this essay. I think Miss Tam Fletcher, you have a question?
Yes, hi, thank you. Sorry to interrupt. It says not Arlington,
Uh,
so
okay,
she
so
can't go
or
to a Arlington high school.
okay, so that does not include our ACTSO students. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay, good.
So
Oops, okay.
because no, no, because Arlington has their own NAACP, then for students who are like not a part of ACTSO, then because we get that often where kids from Mansfield and Arlington apply, and we have to tell them, we have to first ask them if they are a member of our branch uh AXO's program, and then if they're not, then we have to tell them they can't, they have to reach out to the NAACP of Arlington/Mansfield. But if you are in our AXO program, that's kind of like a little privilege. If you are a part of our AXO program, then you are eligible. You can still apply for the scholarships. So that was a great question. We just have to put that on everything now that not Mansfield, because we get so many applications from Arlington and Mansfield, but they're not a part of AXO. So we have
Makes
to put that on
sense.
the later.
Thank you.
No problem. And also our contact information is on this. Soon as the scholarship is released, we're gonna be sending this flyer to AXO so they can send it to you guys. We're just waiting for our release date of March the 19th. But yes, want to see you guys. I'm seeing y'all's names in the chat. I see y'all's name in the boxes. So I hope to see y'all applying for our branch scholarship. And then, like I stated earlier, I am into the college prep field, want to help students get college scholarships as much as possible. And so I've created this free local scholarship list where it has Dallas, Fort Worth, um, Collin County scholarships, local scholarships. Uh, um, for our baby so they can maximize on scholarship opportunities. And if you're interested, just put your email in the chat and I can email that to you later on today. But if you have a high school senior, I'm telling you, there's money in the Metroplex. There are organizations that want to help, our students. They just don't know how to market. They just don't know how to find you and your child, or you on here, senior. They don't know how to find you because they don't know how to market to you. And so I just want to make sure you know the opportunities that are out there. And then just real quick, because Miss Donna kind of already touched on this. Like I said, local scholarships to me are key. That's one of my best practices when I tell people who are searching for scholarships, try to go local. But also apply national, but also go local. Create a scholarship plan. That means that parents, you may have to help as well. You may have to help hold your senior accountable because this is something new for them. Just like if they were driving a car, you wouldn't just let them get in the car and take off. Like, you need to help and guide them until you feel like they're comfortable. This is the same thing with scholarships, because this is money. This is free money, opportunities that they are missing out on because maybe they forget a deadline, maybe they didn't know how to ask a teacher for a little recommendation, just things like that. So we kind of have to, guide them along the way. So I say create a scholarship plan. Maybe you're a senior. If you're a senior on here, you do one scholarship a week. Maybe you do 10 a month. Maybe maybe you and your parents get together after church Sunday and y'all donate 2 hours to just working hard and getting it done. So create a plan. And then my third thing is seek help. If you feel like I need help, but I don't know what I'm doing, then seek out trio programs like Miss Donna's. Seek out like paid services like mine. Like, seek it out, because student debt is real, and that is a real hindrance on college graduates when they start off their life. Like, we don't want them starting off their life in debt. We want to try to minimize that as much as possible so they can get to the financial goals that they set for themselves. And then there are scholarship scams out there as well. So I always try to tell people, like, not everybody's not, want to see kids do good. Some people want to take advantage. So these are like my 4 things. Never pay for scholarships. If there's a scholarship application and they tell you it's an application fee to apply, that is a lie. Scholarships are free. I'll repeat that again. Scholarships are free. So don't pay anybody for any scholarships. If you are searching for scholarships and you go on their website and they don't have any previous winners, don't apply for that scholarship. That is very sketchy. If you see outdated information, if they haven't updated information since COVID, do not apply for their scholarship. Everything should say 2025 on it. If it says 2024 and 23, do not apply. And then any scholarships that I see that always say entry or sweepstakes, sometimes the word contest, just be hesitant, because those are typically marketing terms to get your information so they can spam your email up. So be always just looking out for that as well. And then like I said, this is more information about me and what I do on the side. If we are doing currently a 30-day scholarship challenge on our social media platform, Pre-College Solutions. And so if you just want to learn about scholarships that's out there that you may not know that your child could be applying for, you can go on our social media at Pre-College Solutions and just see all the scholarships that we've been posting, because right now it's scholarship season. Like, from February to the end of May, that is peak scholarship season. And you know what else that is peak season for? Senioritis. These kids deciding that they just don't feel like doing nothing with high school no more, and the only thing they want to do is prom and graduate. So, and while they doing that, they missing out on these opportunities for free money for school. So just make sure that, if scholarships is what you aim for your baby to do to get on it, then help them. Just help them. Don't fuss at them. Help them. All right. And so that is it. Hopefully I didn't go over my 15 minutes. They only told me I had 15. Usually when I do these scholarship workshops, they be like an hour. So I tried to fit what I could fit in, and also make sure I talk about the branch scholarships, because that's why I'm here. So if anybody has any questions.
Thank
Wow.
you. Thank you to both of you.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah, I'm doing this like today because I have a senior. So we're on it. And
Oh,
he's on here. And one of the things that I do is I'm like I try to make him do 1 to 2 scholarship a week, applications a week. And we've been doing that all year. Because you're right. I said you need to help us. And the way you help us is by applying for these scholarships.
yeah, yeah, true story.
and let me
Go ahead. Uh-oh, did she freeze?
I think she froze.
Uh-oh. Well, what were you gonna say?
Just to bounce off of helping your parents, when I was a senior, I was applying for every scholarship.
don't get discouraged, because I had
Are you back with us?
Uh-oh.
I know it was freezing up. Is this us?
yes. Mhm.
Okay, we kind of heard what you were
I'm
saying.
back. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, I was just saying, I was just telling, for all the high school seniors who are out there doing scholarships, don't be discouraged. I be having kids tell me, I've been applying and I ain't got nothing. And I'm like, the way that scholarships are set up, most of them you won't hear nothing. You won't hear if you got it until right around graduation time, or either after you graduate. So just because you haven't heard nothing doesn't mean you haven't won. Maybe because they've already told you they win with another applicant doesn't mean you won't win the next one. So just keep going, keep applying, like, and believe in God, trust in God, and it'll happen. That's all I'm saying.
Very good, very good. Thank you so much. This was great information. I believe you all were sharing your contact information in the chat. So y'all make sure y'all get that. If you have I know that you shared your QR codes, Miss Stevenson Davison. That's still a tongue twister for me. I love your last your QR codes or your links to your emails. We also want to share this information at our local competition. So we will gather this and have that for everyone that wasn't able to hop on today. So if you can share that also in your chat. You spoke of national scholarships available, Ms. Shamika, and we also put a link in chat that takes you to the site, the NAACP site for scholarships. Do we have that?
Yeah. I'm gonna pull that up. Okay. Filibuster.
So yeah, we are going to share that because there are so many opportunities out there for you all, and jump on it. Jump on it. I tell you, like I was stating, talk about helping your parents out. I was applying for everything. Corporations, I applied for Tyson and other corporations and um, Top Teams of America, you name it. I even got a scholarship to play softball. I was on it. And it does help. It really does help. And I know if you all,
Even if it's 500, no matter
the amount,
the amount, trust when those bills come up or you need a little something to get you, sometimes in my case, because I'm in school as well, I have a scholarship that pays for my tuition, but there's a little bit left over. It may be 100 and something left over that the amount of my scholarship didn't cover. And I've had it to where I had another scholarship on top of the one I was getting from the school, and I didn't have to come out of pocket. That other scholarship paid the remaining balance. So, and it was just enough to get that balance in. So it doesn't matter those 500, even 200, 1,000 here, 1,000 there, they start to add up, and they add up at the right time. Okay, I was going to share. Oh, I'm trying to get this. Okay, share. There we go. And then where is the? All right, so can everybody see this? Somebody give me a shout out if you can.
You want to blow it up full screen?
Yes.
Thank you. This is if you Google NAACP ACTSO, and I recommend Googling that and because sometimes when you put NAACP.org, which is the National ACTSO website, it takes a minute to navigate. At least for me, it takes a minute to navigate to the ACTSO page. So if you just Google NAACP ACTSO,
And we put this link specifically to
the link
page.
is in the chat, and it'll open up this page. If you and these are gugobs of scholarships that are available. Agnes Jones Jackson Scholarship, Building Beautiful Futures by Dark and Lovely Hair Products. Here's one, Empowering a Better Tomorrow by Walmart. James Weldon Johnson Scholarship. If you don't know him, he wrote the Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. So that's that brother. He's got a scholarship. What is this? Herbertus W. Willems Scholarship. So you see here, and these are some of the recipients and of the scholarships. So go to the site, apply for these. See how much they're, if some of them, like was mentioned before, are tailored to a specific major. Some of them is just, hey, if you're going to college, apply. So I highly recommend that. Get that the link is in the chat again, copy and paste, hook it onto your computers so you can start applying for this.
So many opportunities. And again, thank everyone on the panel. You all were very informative. I loved everything that you had to offer to us. I know that there were questions being answered during the conversations, but were there any further questions from parents or students?
Okay, and so just FYI, Ms. Shamika has put her email address in the chat. So if you want to reach out to her, if a question pops into your head later on, Ms. Briscoe has put the EOC program link. If you need help in getting the process started, her link is in there as well.
So good information. We are at 10:47, so we're doing great with our time. I did want to, if no further questions for our panel, I did want to recognize any branches that joined us, because we did reach out and invite other branches in the Texas area. Are there any other branches on the Zoom today?
Nope.
Okay, so this is all Fort Worth. Okay, Fort Worth, Tarrant County. Great, great. Also, we have other committee members on the Zoom. And if you all could just come off mute and introduce yourselves.
I think you had somebody raise their hand.
Oh,
Mrs. Jones. I think her name Shamaya Jones.
I'm Melinda Walker from Austin. I couldn't find my unmute button.
That's okay.
Hey, Austin.
Uh-huh.
All right. When are you all kicking off your ACTSO competition?
Pardon me?
When are you all?
Is it?
Yes.
April 5th.
Oh, same time as us.
Yes, right.
Okay. Thank you.
And I think you recognize who I am.
The young lady I was talking about, she put her name in the chat.
This is Sharmia Jones. How are you all, Fort Worth ACTSO?
Morning.
Thank you for sharing this opportunity. I think I also had a student or two to join in, so appreciate you sharing this valuable information. And thank both of the the guest speakers that you had.
You're so welcome. Takes a village. We want to help
Yes, it does.
everybody. What ACTSO is about.
This is Melinda Walker. I put my name and email for the Dallas area local competitions. That's what it was for. The lady that says that she had some local lists for Dallas area, because I have a granddaughter there.
So for Dallas, right now there are only 2 in the Metroplex, is Fort Worth and Garland. So if you're in the Dallas area, I always send students or tell them about the Garland ACTSO chapter and their competition. They do it on 2 days. And let me pull it up. I know it's at the end of April. Garland. And
I wanted the, excuse me. Yeah, I have that information. I wanted the information about the local Dallas scholarships. My granddaughter lives in Dallas. Yeah.
Can you, Miss Melinda, can you put it in the chat again? I'm searching and I don't see your
Okay.
name. So if you put it in chat again, I'll grab it.
Okay, then I sure will.
The Dallas area.
Okay.
Okay.
And
good.
just for FYI information, anybody who knows someone or that may be eligible to compete in ACTSO in the Dallas area, Garland is having their competition April 12th and the 26th. April 12th and the 26th, and you apply online just like you do with Fort Worth. Fort Worth, you don't necessarily have to be from Tarrant County, but just sometimes students, we do require, if you are a gold medal winner, we do rehearse practice for the month of June. And so we require students to attend those practices. And sometimes if they're in Dallas, depending on what sector of Dallas they're from, it can be difficult to get to Fort Worth. So that's why I always recommend, if you think you'll have transportation issues, while we're happy to take anyone, if it's better for you, more convenient for you to do Garland, I recommend that chapter, which is a great chapter. And it's head by Dr. Joyce.
Good deal. And I'm sorry, Miss Sharmia Jones. I just want to say whoop whoop, Mo City. My brother lives in Missouri City. He and his 3 daughters, they're all grown now, but one of them did compete in ACTSO 2020 and got bronze medal national. So I just want to do a quick shout out to Mo City. And I used to live in Houston for 20 years. So that was good to see you.
Shout out.
And our ACTSO,
That's awesome.
yes, our ACTSO committee members I see are on the line. We can start with, I don't know if people are coming and going.
I think they're going.
But just unmute if you're still on the call with us and give us your name.
I am Pamela Scott. I live in Nacogdoches, but I'm part of the Fort Worth, Tarrant County NAACP ACTSO group. Miss LaWanna Scott is my daughter, and Miss Sandra Davis is my sister.
All right.
Hi, I'm Phyllis Robert. Excuse me. I've been with ACTSO committee for 20 years, I think. I started out as a judge and a monitor. Thank you all for coming and supporting us. Thanks for the information, ladies.
Hello, my name is Deirdre Wilson, and have been with the committee for 30 plus years, and my primary role is with registration. So thank you for coming on today. Very informative session. Look forward to seeing the students on April 5th. Thank you.
All right, good deal. Anyone else? Let's see, an iPhone. Okay. All right, thank you all. Well, this concludes this part of the workshop. Again, we thank you so much to our panelists for coming out and sharing your Saturday morning with us, giving us great information. We are going to use this, spread the word, and so you'll be getting a lot of contacts from us in the near future. So at this time, we're going to end this part of our workshop, and we'll go into our national competition workshop to answer questions regarding the local competition. Thank you so much. You all are welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone
Thank
has a
you. Thank
question.
y'all.
Oh, someone had a question?
Oh,
Yes, Pam Fletcher.
I'm sorry.
yes,
Oh
it is.
no, I was just saying, clapping,
Oh,
and saying
hi.
thank you.
You, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
All right, so we have students on here. If you, I know we got a couple that have joined us before. If you have any additional questions, you're free to ask us about as we draw near to the competition. Do we have
And you can
any
show your faces.
newcomers? Oh yes, and you can show your faces if you're not having a bad hair day. Come on.
Even if you are, we all have.
Yeah, my hair is half done. I need to hit this back part right here. I ain't finished. Jalen, is this your first time with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yoo-hoo! Anaya, Neely, you've been with us before, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Gabby. Great to see. Well, I don't see you because you don't have your picture on, but great to see your name. And good to see you back, girlfriend. And she said, "Good on." And Tam Fletcher. Is Tam a student? No.
No, I'm the mother. Gab Lewis is mine.
Okay.
She should be on Gab, I think. Yes, Gab is on.
Oh, yeah. Lord help. I'm sorry.
She's doing dance,
Yeah.
modern.
Okay, so an iPhone. Who is iPhone? Somebody's iPhone. It just says iPhone. I wonder, is that my child?
That might be me. Is that me?
No,
No,
we
ma'am.
can see you.
Oh, okay.
Earlier, Dalton was on. Is
Yeah.
that still Dalton?
It might be him. Okay, so for Miss Jalen, this is your first time with us. Let me start by this before I give the spiel about ACTSO. What do you know about ACTSO and how did you hear about us?
So I heard about ACTSO just kind of offhandedly from people who have done the competition at my school.
What
And
school is
I
that?
know that it's
What school is that?
the Booker T. Washington High School for the Performing and Visual
Oh,
Arts,
okay.
nothing serious.
Just that school.
And and I know that it's a national competition that can lead to the opportunity to go to a different state where you can win gold for different categories such as like poetry or dramatics and just different different arts.
So what grade are you, Jalen? And what's your conservatory?
I'm a junior in theater.
Okay. Do I have you and I'm just having a brain fart?
No.
Okay, good.
I know I don't take film or anything, so
Okay, good. All right.
but I have been in cahoots because I think it's your daughter who helped me with my fashion design. So
Okay, all right. So what are you going to compete in? Looking now, you can do up to 3 categories, right?
mhm.
Okay. What are your choices?
Yeah, I was thinking about dramatics. I was thinking about I think it was performance poetry, and there's a third category. But for now, those two specifically.
Okay. Were you in there when I gave the for the Student Black Union meeting?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, good. Welcome. Now, if at any time you you don't you later on after this, there's a question that comes to mind. Oh man, I forgot to ask this. You know, you can find me in the building and you can come to me anytime and ask after that. And so Gabby, and before I get, you know, tell you more information, Jalen, Gabby and Anaya, I just wanted to, because you pretty much know the spill, wanted to go ahead and ask you if you had any questions or concerns before I inform Miss Jalen about anything.
Yeah, I did just have one question. When was the actual competition day?
April 5th. April.
Okay. And did you have to do like anything before that, like submitting anything or?
That's a great question. So tell me again, remind me of your category.
I'm doing the art one. I think it's the painting category.
Okay, okay. And that's the only one?
Yes.
Okay. So for painting, no ma'am. You just bring your painting to the competition. For the humanities, we will be sending out a date, and the humanities cover anything that's written. Playwriting, short story, essay. Am I missing something? Poetry written. We will send out information. We try to ask that to have that a little sooner before the competition to give our judges time to read ahead of time. So it will expedite the decision process during the day of competition. If they would have read it beforehand, then come competition, maybe the only thing that they're doing is talking amongst each other about the pieces and then interviewing each individual contestant. If someone, but you know, we take walk-ups, so if someone comes up the day of and they compete in any of those categories, then you will have to wait for the judges to read that information during the competition process. Music, Gabby, I would like for you to email your music selection, or if you are doing in multiple dance categories, each music to, you know, and then specify, hey, this is my contemporary dance piece, this is my modern dance piece, so that we will have that music ahead of time. So
Yes, ma'am.
Email it to me or Miss Davis. But yes, we are trying to gather music to have that already in the queue to have things run a little bit smoother. Again, somebody may come the day of and we'll have to, you know, manage their music on the spot. But if we can get that beforehand, that would be very helpful.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, this is Kelly. Does Gabrielle have your email address, or she can send it to the ACTSO inbox too? I think that's
Yes, I have her email.
Yeah, send it to
okay.
me.
Okay.
Gabby, send it to me.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any questions, Gabby?
Yes, I did have a question. I'm doing 2 categories this year again, and one is classical. For the regional audition, I don't know if I'm comfortable dancing on point on the TCC on that stage. So me and my mom were wondering, like, would that take points off or anything? I think I messaged you about this like a
Yes.
couple months ago.
So we did discuss that. Unfortunately, if we're in that, we are, it's not solidified, but we are trying to see if we can get that dance studio. We've had it before. It's in the same area. It's literally one building, the building across from where where you did the competition last year and where the award ceremony was held. This building is right across from that. We're still working on that. And if we don't get it, unfortunately, all we have is that stage. I know that at nationals, you know, we never know what we're going to get when it comes to the proper flooring. I know they try to definitely accommodate dancers for that, but sometimes in the past, I've seen a flooring similar to what they have at the where we have the competition. I mean, where we have the award ceremony, which is where you do your competition, and the dancers have to adjust. So I don't know, and help me out, committee. I'm not sure if points will be necessarily deducted if you don't get on point, but I would say that there may be a dancer that come in if we don't get the studio, and they are on point. And so I guess it's a thing that we have to discuss with the committee to see, is there anything that we're going to make allowances for because of the flooring? And if so, we'll have to, you know, relay that information to the judges so they will take that into consideration as far as scoring. But for now, we are trying to get that dance studio and see if that's available for our dancers, because we know that that is better for you physically to perform on.
Okay. Thank you.
This is her mother, Tam. I had a question. She has Fort Worth Jabberwock that evening. So if you all could get her in as early as possible.
Okay.
So she can audition. So that way, and she won't. Unfortunately, we won't be able to make the awards because we have Jabberwock that evening. Fort Worth alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Jabberwock. So that's that evening.
Okay, thank you so much for letting us know that. We'll make sure that she's at the top. As a matter of fact, it's the Deltas are along with the AKAs, but the Deltas are working with us, and that was one of the things, is that they were like, "Hey, can we at least get out by, 1 o'clock because we have Jabberwock?" So
y'all got them good. Y'all got them work.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll put her at the top so she can get out in time to get primed and prepared for that event. Thank you for letting us.
And she's going to be in 2 categories?
Yes. So yeah.
This is Miss Wilson. Like I said, be sure and remind us of that on the day of competition. You know, that's how many weeks away. We are not necessarily going to recall that. But thank you.
No.
Yeah. All right, Miss Anaya, did you have any additional questions? Or is there a time? I know that before you're still kind of deciding what your project is for in the area of painting would be. Have you kind of narrowed it down, or have you started working on things?
Yeah, I'm actually going to start it today. I've been really busy, so I haven't really been able to work on it yet, but I am going to get all the stuff and start it today. So
did you get a chance to look at the guidelines? You look at the guidelines?
No, where can I find this?
So if you go to fortworthactso.com, Fort Worth ACTSO, and that's spelled out ACTSO.com. The guidelines are on. If you scroll, you'll see guidelines, and you will have to download it. Don't worry, we won't give you a virus, but you will have to download it. And then from there, you'll scroll to your category, and it'll tell you what is required, as well as the point system. So you get to see, hey, for this, you get so many points for this. And remember, you're trying to get 95 or above.
Okay, thank you.
Also, Anaya, I'm sorry, this is Miss Davis, Kelly Davis. And I think when we spoke to you that initially, we coached you on the size of your submission. Just you want to make sure it's a good size, as large as you feel comfortable doing the composition.
Okay, I'll make sure to get that. Thank
Yeah, 8.5 by 11 is 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 going to be to your disadvantage.
you. Okay.
And also, we're going to bombard you, but on your application, you had indicated original essay, oratory, and drawing. So now you're saying you change, not going to, it's not going to be a drawing, it's going to be a painting, and that you're not going to compete in the other categories?
Yes, ma'am. Is drawing and painting not in the same thing?
No, those are two different categories.
Okay, so do I need to change something or?
Well, I guess you need to look at the guidelines to ensure what it is you're actually doing. So now it really is painting where you're using a brush and oils or pastels or
Yes, it's gonna be paint.
Okay. Okay, awesome.
So then go back in and or send us something or email to indicate the category that you're only going to compete in a single category and that it is painting.
Okay,
So we can
do that. Thank you for telling me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now Jalen, I'm coming back to you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about ACTSO, okay? You still with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. All right, so again, we're the Fort Worth chapter, and we are small. I always say we're small, but we're very mighty. We've had over 40 national gold medal winners. So we know a little bit about ACTSO and the process and making providing students, contestants with the skills that they need to confidently compete on a national level. So how it will work. You tell me what categories. The day of competition.
Oh, sorry. If I want to just to clarify, it's oratory and dramatic arts acting. So
okay.
It's those two.
I'm glad you're doing oratory. Yeah, that's one of my favorite areas. And we used to have a lot of participants, successful participants. We've had gold medal winners in that category, and so it's good to see. I haven't seen a couple in a little bit, well, although we had one, but year before last. But it's good to that you're doing that category. It's a really good and useful. It's always helpful to learn how to present yourself and to speak before an audience. And so that's why I really love oratory, because that is a skill that is going to stay with you throughout. You're going to find yourself always in some capacity speaking before groups. So the earlier you start, the better, because a lot of people that frightens the daylights out of them. So, it's good to have that skill in your bag. So you will compete on April 5th. This is the timeline of how things go as far as local competition. 9 o'clock. Registration is at 9. Yes, registration is at 9. And we will send out the information as far as, the location we're going to be at, and then the itinerary as we get closer to the competitions. But you will report to the Tarrant County College South Campus in Fort Worth at 9 o'clock for registration. There, you'll just sign your name, your category, and some other, your grade and whatnot. And then you will receive your competition number. From there, you'll be guided to an auditorium or to an area where we will host a student orientation. There, someone will talk to you about the process of the competition, how it will go, what room you're supposed to go to, anything that you need to know to help you prepare you that day. You can also ask questions at the end of that, after the end of the person's information piece, just to kind of let you know the lay of the land and how everything is going to go. We're not just going to like, okay, you got your number, there you go, good luck. You know, if you're unsure about anything, you'll have another opportunity the day of to ask questions. Once orientation is over, which is around 9:45, competitions will start at 10 a.m. So after you are released from the orientation, somebody will be there to help guide you to wherever your competition is being held. In your case, you're probably going to be in 2 different locations. So you'll have 2 numbers. Oratory will be in one room, maybe in another building, and dramatics will be hosted in, you know, in another area. You may say, oh, what if my number comes up and I'm still waiting to compete in oratory and my number comes up in dramatics? No worries. Each competition has a monitor, and we will notify, somebody will notify that monitor, and the monitor will tell the judges, hey, you got another contestant. She's just occupied over here in this category, and they will wait for you. So they won't slide back past you or disqualify you because you're not there. The competition in your case, in dramatics, well, actually, I think just about all of them, but in your case, it is timed. So I would highly recommend, again, that you go to the Fort Worth ACTSO, FortWorthACTSO.com, download those guidelines, find your category, and look at the time that you have to compete, because there is a.
Yeah.
Did you have a question?
Sorry, no.
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Yeah. And again, not only will they have the guidelines for you to adhere to in your specific category, it'll also have the rubric. Hey, we're going to give you 20 points for presentation. We'll give you this many points for projection, as in both categories, really, for dramatics. And so you'll see what they're actually grading you on, right? You want a 95 or above to receive a gold medal. Okay. Then I'm trying to see if there's anything in between. It's not. But that night we will host the award ceremony. We like to kind of just get it all over with in one day. Some chapters, they have competitions on one day, and then you come back for the award ceremony at a later time. We do it all in one day. So if you want them to hang around until the award ceremony that evening, you're welcome to do so. If you competed that morning and you're done and you want to, go home or do something else and then come back, you're welcome to leave and come back. We ask that all participants arrive back at the same location of the competition that evening for the award ceremony at 6:30. At 6:45, all competitors march in to the award where we're going to host the award ceremony. You're seated in a reserved area, and then we start the program. And then you will find out that night if you're a gold medal winner, or if you are a winner, we have bronze, silver, and gold. So you can be recipient of any one of those medals. But it is the gold medal winners that receive an all expense paid trip to the national competition. Will be held in July 9th through the 13th, I believe. This year, we are going to Charlotte, North Carolina. It travels around to different locations, different states every year. And this year, we're in Charlotte. Also new this year is that the national competition is usually 4 days. This year, they've extended it to 5 days. They want to allow time for all the chapters that are going to be there to get to see the host city. So you have a day, you'll have a competition day, And then you'll have a day of workshops and other activities that the national competition hosts for the competitors. And then you'll have a day to go out and we'll go see the city, right? We'll go see some of the landmarks. And then you'll have the award ceremony on the last day. On a national level, if you win any of those places, the bronze, the silver, or the gold, not only do you receive the medal and bragging rights, but you also receive a financial payment. So for bronze, it is $1,000. For silver, it's $1,500, and for gold, it is $2,000. That money that check will be written in your name. You will receive that funding around October, at the latest November, but usually they're around October. You will receive your financial reward. So as I told you, you can compete in up to 3 categories. And that's good because it opens your chances even more so to, be able to attend the national category. And Jalen, you said you're a junior?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that's great because you can compete in ACTSO every year you're in high school, as long as you can compete every year. So if you happen to place, if you go to nationals and you place on a national level, it's not necessarily, oh, well, I won, so, that's it. No. If you want to come back next year and compete, as proof by Gabrielle, who is on here now, she was a gold medal winner, a local gold medal winner last year, and she went to nationals. And so she's here, thankfully, competing again this year as a senior. Gabby, you a senior?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. For the next scholarship.
Yeah. And so she's able to compete again. So that's the wonderful thing. And if you win gold again, guess what? You go back to nationals again. So it is not a one-time thing. You can come back next year if you so desire. And it's good because if you get a chance to witness ACTSO on a national level, then you have a really good idea of what's expected of you as far as the caliber of work. Should you win gold locally, as I mentioned before, we require all our gold medal winners to rehearse with the committee for the month of June. So we usually meet 1 day a week. Sometimes, if needed, we'll meet twice a week. It just depends on the group that we get. Each time we meet, you will do your piece or pieces if you're in multiple categories, if you've won in multiple categories, before the committee. And then the committee will then question you or question and critique you. And these are all things that, they're seasoned. You're talking just about everybody on the committee is 30, 20 or more years in the game. So we have a good idea of what is expected of you as a competitor and some of the things that you may encounter or hear from the judges on a national level. So we always say, it's rigorous, but trust the process. Because everybody in there is an expert in ACTSO, and we have the tools to get you ready for the competition, for the national competition, because it is very competitive. You're competing with gold medal winners from across the United States, and they're all good, So they want that. They want either those bronze, silver, or medal, and they're going to bring their A game. And so we're going to make sure that should you become a gold medal winner on a local level, that you bring your A game and you're ready for nationals. So we do require once, maybe twice a week, depending on what we decide, that you attend those practices and not miss any. If you have to, for circumstances beyond your control, we understand that. But for the majority of that month, we need to see you to get you ready. And then we have a showcase, which is what we call our final dress rehearsal, right before it's time to leave for nationals. And at the showcase, it's free to the public. It's kind of like we're putting our winners on display who are going to represent the city of Fort Worth and the national and the NAACP chapter and a branch. So the city gets to come out and see who are our representatives. This is where you can invite also your parents and friends and family, and they can see you. So you get that last bit of jitterness out, before an audience, somebody outside the committee, and you'll do your spiel and your performance in front of them before we get ready to jet set off to nationals. Now, do you have to pay anything for nationals? No, that's a part of your winnings. Vernon Jarrett, who is the founder of ACTSO, wanted to make sure that every kid had an opportunity to attend and experience ACTSO without the burden of having to fund there or feeling like, hey, how am I going to get there? So he put it upon the chapters to make sure that we find a way through generous donations from individuals and companies and support from the NAACP chapter, that all our scholars get an opportunity to see it without their parents having to dig in their pockets. So we pay for your transportation and hotel accommodations. We also pay for you to eat 3 times a day. Now, if you want to eat, if you happen to eat 4 or 5 meals a day, that 4th and 5th meal may be on you, but we at least got 3 of them, right? So we're gonna and we throw in a snack here or two, right? So we pay for your accommodations as a gold medal winner during ACTSO, the national competition. Am I leaving anything out? Committee, please jump in. And Jalen, jump in if you have any questions.
Yes, ma'am, Tanya. You had said they're coming back at 6:30. I just want them to know to prepare for it. We had stated at our meeting on Monday that it would be 6:15.
6:15. Oh, okay, thank you.
Right, right. So I don't want them to think, and of course they'll be told this again. But for those that already know, I don't want them to say in their head, "Well, you told me 6:30," but we had said 6:15. Okay, and high students, participants, I'm Phyllis Roberts. What I want you to understand is she's gone through the process from local to national. I'm only dealing with local, and not to try to put a damper on it, but let me state that please look at your guidelines so that you'll know what you're going to be judged on. And rest assured, everybody's a winner, but everybody don't come home with a medal. Okay, so do your best. Know what they're judging you on. Make sure that you know the criteria. You know what's being how you being scored, what you being scored on, and do your best. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Phil. I'm glad you mentioned that. Jalen, make sure your dramatic piece monologue that you choose is something that you really like. Okay.
Yes.
The piece that you believe in, you identify with the character in some kind of way. You feel confident in your abilities to portray this character, meaning you've done your character analysis, you know all the stuff that you go through in getting into that part. And I say that because, one, that category is very competitive. Okay. It's not UIL. They come in. Okay. Two,
Gotcha.
you're going to be doing that piece multiple times in practice. So sometimes in the past, students who want to do ACTSO, but it's like, oh snap, ACTSO is next week, and they pull a piece out of their back pocket, that they, I always compete, audition on this. And it's not necessarily their A game, but it's something that I already know. So I'm just gonna go with this one. If you win with that one, you cannot change it. Some students have had the mindset of, oh, okay, I'll compete with this song or this piece. And if I win, then I'll really look into a piece I want to do, because they, didn't carve the time to do the research on a good selection beforehand. And that's not the case with ACTSO. Whatever you win with, whatever piece you compete with, that is what you're stuck with for nationals. You can't change it, because after competition, Miss Davis and myself, she's the other chairperson, we have to turn in all the gold medal winners and their pieces that that they competed with to nationals. So before you get there, they already know, oh, she did Rose from Fences. So that's what they're expecting. So if you come up there with, we can't change it because we've already sent in your selections. So pick something that is not at the last minute, that is something that that's near and dear to you, and that you feel like you can execute well, because you cannot change it. Oratory. You need to write the speech.
Yes.
Okay. You need to memorize the speech. And that may say, Miss Holloway, why are you saying that? I already know that. I've seen somebody on their phone reading the speech or looking at no. Memorize it. Write it and memorize it. Also, the other things that come to mind. Just because this is a competition for Black students by a well-known Black organization, the NAACP, does not mean your piece has to center around Black culture. So if you want to do a piece from the Greeks, from Shakespeare, from any of the classics, please do so. It does not have to center around Black culture. Same with your oration speech. Pick a topic that's near and dear to you, that is relevant to you at this age. Because then you get to emote those emotions and that passion for what you're talking about, what you're speaking on, that comes through to your audience. If it's something that you feel passionate about, a topic. So make sure you're thoughtful in your decision of what to speak about when it comes to your oration. But it doesn't have to center around necessarily Black life, just because of the nature of the competition itself. You can do a monologue on anything, any topic.
Yes, I've always wanted a Sandiego that wasn't sarcastic.
Hello, this is Miss Wilson, and along that line, it does not necessarily have to be of a very serious nature. If your selection, although it says dramatics or acting, it doesn't have to, it can be a comedic piece.
I'll make a deal.
Something that, as Ms. Holloway says, that it is dear to you. So if that's, what interests you, do something like that. It does not have to be, gloom and doom.
Another thing, Jalen, if you would like for us to see your performance, your monologue, or you'd like for us to review your speech, we're not judges as committee members, so we're able to do that. If you want to look at it beforehand and get some pointers, you can, you know, as well as Miss Price. You can go to Miss Price and tell her, because Esau competed last year with us. He went with us last year. So, you know, Miss Price knows about ACTSO. She competed in ACTSO. Mr. Williams, I believe, competed in ACTSO. Miss Scott, Audra Scott, she was at Booker T. She competed in ACTSO. I think Mr. Gino Young competed. So they're on season. You know, this is how long ACTSO has been around. But either myself or Ms. Price, if you want to run your monologue by her, she's willing to look at it. Or you want to send you're writing your speech and you want somebody to look at it at the committee, let me know. Send it to my I'll put my email address and you know, we can help you with that, get that shaped up before before the competition.
Gotcha.
Okay. I just sent my email in the chat.
Let's see. And the board will get over it, especially after we.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So for mine about the painting thing, so since I am gonna be doing painting it, and having like to switch to painting category or whatever, I remember when y'all showed me like the man that went off like making it out of Skittles. So in my project, I was thinking of like not only just it, some of it will be painting, but like adding other stuff to it that's like not paint. Would I still be in the painting category, or do I have to do like a different one? Or like what did he choose when he did it with the Skittles or whatever?
I'm going off the top of my head here, but I thought there was a category called multimedia.
Because I'm looking at the guidelines right now, and all I see is like drawing, filmmaking, painting, photography, and sculpture. And I don't think it would be sculpture because it's still going to be like on a canvas.
So it's not three-dimensional, right?
Yeah.
No.
This is me, but and committee, please feel free to chime in. But since there is not a multimedia category like you're saying, if you use painting and some other objects part of it, but if the majority of your piece is painting, if you are painting something, then I would put it in that category. If you were the majority of it, you were drawing something and then you added some media to it, some sort of texture to it with an object or something, but the majority of it was a drawing, then I would enter it in drawing.
Okay, thank you.
And I think in one of those categories, I can't recall without looking at it, it references multimedia. I don't recall which one it may be.
Is it one in like the visual arts section or?
It is in visual arts, but I'm not sure.
I'm looking at it right now and all it's saying is drawing, filmmaking, painting, photography, and sculpture.
Yes, but if you look, I'm referencing the actual descriptions of what the criteria are for each of those categories.
Okay.
So if you're looking into those, it will give you the rubric and also kind of give you an overview of what is covered in those particular categories.
Great point, Ms. Deidre. Yeah, please do that, Anaya. Look in the criteria specifically for painting and for drawing. See if either one of those includes multimedia as part of the rubric. Now you got me really curious about what your piece is.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, Jalen?
Oh, and also Jalen, in your poetry performance, it also needs to be original as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You're doing that category. Okay, yeah. Yes, please. That's another.
Is it timed? Is it timed?
It's timed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another one. That's
Each
a strong category.
Each category that I'm performing in roughly cuts off at about 5 minutes. It's like 3 to 5 minutes.
On the day of competition, now, I believe Miss Phyllis goes over this during orientation, but and we have a uniform intro that we work with our gold medal winners that they'll say at nationals. But you will say, hello, my name is Tanya Holloway. I am a rising senior from this school. I will be competing. I will be performing a scene from, a piece, not a scene, a piece from Fences, portraying the role of Rose. After you say your intro, that's when the clock starts. Not during your intro. So you don't have to speed through because you're not timed until you begin your performance.
Well, you pretty much covered all of the questions I was going to ask. My main question was any like non-required workshops to get feedback, but as you said, I can ask Miss Price or anyone in the building.
You come to me for the poetry and the oratory and dramatics as well. But I'm just saying you have another outlet if you want to have someone else look at your monologue through Miss Price. But the written work, I can work with you on that.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah, that pretty much covers it for me. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I wanted to mention this earlier, but oratory really was kind of my theater before I got into theater. In elementary, I tried competing in competitions like Gardier and like just competitions at my school. So I'm really excited.
And I would say this in oratory, it's always when I speak and when I do speaking engagements, it's always good to start off with a personal story or a personal experience. Grab and how it ties in to what you're speaking about. So people like to hear. It's better when you personalize what you're saying at the beginning, so you can instantly make that connection that somebody in the audience can relate to, or they're wondering where's this story going, and when you have their attention, and then you connect it to what's the theme or the topic that you're speaking of. It relaxes you, it relaxes the audience, and it makes it for a more conversational piece. You don't want to just be talking robotically to your audience. You want to make it conversational so that they are listening and in tune to what you're trying to persuade them to know. Whether you're informing them, this is an informative piece, persuasion piece, a call to action piece. Are you calling up your audience to go do something about a particular cause? Are you informing them about information we didn't know about? Are you, and to consider, is it inspirational? What are you trying to do? What's the takeaway for your audience? Okay.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
hello again, Miss Roberts. Let me also say, so the two students know they can tell their parents that, and I think it was last year, but all categories are open. There were some closed performances now, but everything is open for them to go in.
Yeah. At nationals.
Okay.
At nationals.
No. At local.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all performances are open, so everybody can go in. We may have some stipulations on some things, and it's according where we go. It's according what we get. We will have some stipulations on it, but please know that you can go in and see everything now. Okay. And it was something else, and I just went blank. I'm old. Okay, if I think about it before we leave, I'll tell you.
All right. Miss Holloway, Chair Holloway, it's probably Jalen probably is already aware of this, but the attire you come as your character.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're gonna change. You don't have to be, well, you can be. What you wear for your monologue should reflect your character. This but sometimes students, competitors don't always dress the part, right? So
Yes.
you will have time to do a wardrobe change so that you can, if oratory is first, dress the part. I recommend a blouse, a nice top, a blazer or not, and slacks or a skirt, and dress shoes.
Yes.
If you, and what you wear for oratory, you can wear the same thing for poetry written. But for your performance piece, yes. As far as theater, yeah, dress the part.
Gotcha.
All right. If there are no other questions, you guys are free to go. And I thank you so much for jumping on again with you, Miss Neely. Thank you for coming again. Gabby, thank you for jumping on. I hope you got a wealth of information as far as scholarships. Go start applying now. Make sure you have all the links. There are a lot of links in this in the chat. So copy and paste those links so you'll have access to all those scholarships. And if you have any further questions that pop into your head, or Neely, you want Miss Davis that's on here, who's a visual artist, to kind of start looking at your stuff, or us as you begin, you can pop on here next week and somebody will take a look at your work. If you have any additional questions, Jalen, I'm at Booker T in the mornings. On Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Tuesday, Thursdays, I'm not there. But Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you will find me there in the morning. Please feel free to come over and we'll talk. We'll be here next week, same back channel. And if I don't see you before, for the remainder of the month, I look forward to seeing you on April 5th.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Have a
And
good
Gabby,
day.
I will keep you informed about us getting that dancer hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Holloway, do you leave school by lunch or around like flex second period?
I usually leave after first on Monday, Wednesday. No, now, yeah, I leave after first, but if you need me to stay, like you say, hey, can I get to you at flex? I'll stay.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
it's just my first, sorry.
Go ahead.
it's just my first period is pre-cal, and I need to attend that class by all means.
You need to attend that class. Just hit me up before class starts and say, "Hey, Miss Holloway, don't leave."
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
then I'll stick around. What you got second?
I have a portfolio.
Oh, okay. Y'all just working on Wix right now, right?
Yeah.
You got your Wix page done?
Yes, ma'am.
I used to teach that class.
Really?
Yeah. I like I did. Are you all doing where you're doing your slide presentations? Oh no, your pieces. That you're going to present next year.
Yes.
Okay.
So far I presented 2 contrasting monologues, and the stuff I did for arts and culture.
Mm-hmm.
So that entire fashion design stuff. I have like a presentation for all like the pictures I have and pieces that I want to bring in for showcase for costume wise, but I don't know how the like setup is going to work for like that. Like, is it a booth? But those are questions for like a later time.
Yeah, you'll have a booth. You have a station to yourself, and you'll get to set up all your bells and whistles. You have backdrops, you have portfolio books, you'll have a table. Yeah, you'll get to trick it out.
Gotcha.
What school? So, are you majoring in costume? What's your area that you're looking at?
I'm kind of looking at like dramatic arts. So where I can go to a college and similar to how I'm at Booker T, able to kind of just dabble in everything. So I
So
can
more
do
like a
like stage management.
conservatory?
Probably. That's where I'm really, really looking at some conservatory schools. But
Yeah.
then also, if I end up getting like the money and just like the opportunity to go to like something for a degree in like psychology, then I was also interested in that. But for right now, I talked to Miss Price about it. For right now, she said I should probably look into like a conservatory school where I can really ground myself in acting. And then once I'm like finished with that, go back to school to get those degrees.
Right. Jalen, let me see who you are so I know who to look out for. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I didn't know I was talking to this Jalen.
Yes.
All right. Yes, child. Yes. Oh, yeah. Who's still on? Kelly and who's Samsung? Is the?
No,
Oh.
I don't know who the Samsung is.
Oh.
I don't know.
All right. So this one's a good one. This one's a sweetie.
Okay.
So yay.
But she sounds very enthusiastic about the program, and that's wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, if, like I said, we have 2 more workshops. However, if there's something that comes up in between those workshops, do not hesitate to send an email or, like I said, Ms. Holloway saying, if you have access to her at Booker T, but shoot us an email to say, something's come up or you have a question about something and we can address it anytime. It doesn't have to be wait for the workshop.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Jalen.
Thank you all.
I hope you get to come. I really do. So you need to be on it, girl, because let me tell you, you got, and now the good thing is that they're not in your category, but you got Ariel, Gabby, who you don't know Gabby, but Gabby, she's at a performing arts high school. She did it last year. Aesop, I think, is coming back. I mean, and they're doing multiple categories now, right? To up their chances. They want to go back. so
Yeah.
I know that Esau's doing playwriting, but I think he might do acting as well. And I got a couple of people in dramatics from other schools. So Work on that, girlfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and your poetry. Oh, Cadence. You know Cadence?
Diggs?
Yeah, Diggs did poetry performance last year at nationals, and she can tell you about the competition. I know that Cadence is trying to go back. I think all of them that's eligible from last year are trying to go back.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, once you get a taste,
once you see
it's
it,
once kids, I mean, we try to tell them, but until you get there, that's when your mind gets blown.
yeah, it's
You
like
know, and it's like, oh my God, what? I'm not missing this next time. What?
yeah,
No.
that's what Ariel said when
Yeah.
she and you get to see your competition. You get to sit in the room and watch the other kids, right? And Ariel told me that she had never lost a competition. She's never lost the competition. And ACTSO was the first competition she ever lost. And
Really?
she said, and she put it in her college essay letter about her experience at ACTSO and how after she performed, I remember her take, because last year was in Las Vegas. She said, Miss Holloway, it's like performing with a bunch of me's. I'm performing myself. She was like, everybody is so good. I said, yeah,
Yeah.
welcome to AXO. And so she talked about in her essay, college essay, how devastating that was, for her to lose, but it was an eye opener for her. And I remember after award ceremony, we were at nationals. I didn't want her to be discouraged. And Gabby, who was on here, Gabby lost. She was dance. And I said, "You okay, Ariel?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "I'm a little down, it's a little down, but." And I said, "Well, are you coming back?" She said, "Yes, of course I'm coming back. I lost, Miss Holloway. I gotta go get that medal."
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh no, I just lost. Yeah, I'm coming back."
Yeah. That's
And
that mentality.
yeah, and so when I saw her at the top around senior showcase, she said, I got my piece already ready for AXO." I mean, at the beginning of the year, she was already, "Oh yeah, I'm coming back to this because they just whooped my butt last year." And
Well, I think she got a little vengeance though, because she got to be the lead in
oh
one of the
yeah,
dance numbers at nationals. She was picked.
yeah.
The choreographer picked
So
her to be a
that's the
lead.
thing. So they have the national award ceremony, of course, and if you now the people that pick you aren't necessarily judges, and this has happened to us as long as I've been doing AXO since 1990. They may see your performance and say, "Hey, we would like for you to do that on the award ceremony," and you go, "Oh my gosh, I must have won because I must have medal because they want me to perform my piece. They picked me." But that's not always the case. So with her, you can be a part of the dancers for the award ceremony. Now, and Gabby, who was on here, she was a dancer, but they select who they want to be lead dancers or have particular parts in the dance areas, right? On the award ceremony. And Ariel was picked. She was the lead dancer. I think, and a lot of times even though we tell the students, doesn't mean you won. You start thinking, I'm the lead, surely I won. And she still, so she was the lead dancer and she still didn't win. And let me tell you, I was sitting up in rehearsal with her at 2 a.m. as her chaperone. And this choreographer He was an ACTSO winner. When he was in high school, he went on to choreograph for Beyonce and many others. He comes back every year. It's all volunteer. Nobody pays him. That's how much he loves ACTSO. And when you rehearse with him for the award ceremony, you are getting a taste of what it is really like with a professional choreographer on a national caliber, right? And he holds no bars. He ain't nice. He don't care about your feelings. One girl said, we haven't eaten. He said, okay, you can go. Don't come back, but you can go. If you need to go eat, you go eat. We're gonna be dancing. That's the kind of thing and he told Ariel at 2 a.m. They bless their heart. Them babies were tired because he was saying again, and she was, what do they call it? It's a term when you're not really doing the dances for the steps.
Marking it?
Marking. It was late. She tired. She hungry. And she started marking. And he said, Dallas? She said, yes, sir. He said, if you don't dance full throttle, when I say on 3, you can step to the back. 2 a.m. She said, yes, sir. Every time he said, and 1, 2, and 3, bam, she hit it. She was like, but when it was over, she said it was a thrill. She said, I was dog tired, but it was still a thrill, and then along the way, he was giving them tips on when you go audition on a national level in front of for a professional job. Never do this, never do that, always do this, always have that. So you're hearing that from professionals. That's who's judging you. People who are experts in that area, who are professionals. That's their job. So when they get somebody in poetry written, you're performing in front of poets who are probably published and do this for a living. When you're doing oration, you're doing it in front of people who do this for a living. It's not just somebody that they got from the city. The people in STEM, the competitors in STEM, I've seen it. People from NASA was judging them. So they get the real deal. You're not getting some Rudy Poop person that, I like ACTSO. No, they're getting professionals who know about ACTSO, who care about it, who knows what they're doing, and do it for free. They come, the only thing they pay for is their room and board. That's it. So you're performing in front of professionals. Okay, I ain't gonna hold you no more. It's 12 o'clock. We held you. I can talk about ACTSO all day.
Is it?
I think.
No, this was enriching. Thank you. Thank you dearly.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Y'all have a good evening.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Tanya?
Yes.
Kelly? I had to leave for a while. So did anybody get the information out of the chat with all the you guys made reference to what's in the in the chat? Because when I had to get off, I didn't get anything about
Are you talking about all the links?
Yes, all those links.
I'm gonna get the links.
Because that might be, I don't know if that's something we'd want to put on our website or not.
Yeah, that would be good.
I had to go over to the church. My other there's something going on over there, and they asked me can I bring them something? So I had to get off and go do that.
No worries.
Okay, but I think it turned out okay. So
It
I
was a
made
real
the
good
notation
session
about
today.
I think so.
Yeah.
But it's good. Like I said, I made the notation of Anaya